Welcome, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Kirkpatrick from Xcel Energy. Our speaker panel for today are part of the Beneficial Electrification League of Colorado. BELCO is the acronym. We are the Quality Installation Working Group. We've been meeting regularly, working collaboratively to identify heat pump quality installation and adoption barriers. Let's do a quick definition of beneficial electrification. It's a concept that refers to using electricity to power appliances that traditionally have used other power sources, such as natural gas. So for this industry, we're talking about using electric heat pumps to heat as well as cool customers' homes and businesses. This meeting is taking place today because of interviews recently conducted with some local Colorado distributors, manufacturers, contractors, and utilities who were asked what the top priorities are for accelerating the adoption of heat pumps in homes. The number one priority identified was the need for your involvement, you being manufacturers and distributors. Updating you on the latest developments and things that are driving the rest. And it's not a conversation unless you have a chance to tell us what we need to know about your plans, successes, and concerns. We'll finish up with what we will provide to help you and what's next. Let's hear from our speaker panel now, beginning with Patricia Rothwell from the Energy Efficiency Business Coalition.
Thanks, Ann. My name is Patricia Rothwell. I'm the Executive Director of the Energy Efficiency Business Coalition. And did you know that the energy transition, along with smart devices and mechanicals in our homes, is part of the largest and the fastest market adoption in history, even faster than smartphones and the internet? Already nationally, 52% of utilities have made commitments around 80% carbon-free, clean energy grids by 2030. And I don't know about you, but this means the energy transition is real, it's moving fast. Whether we agree or not, we all likely probably want to take advantage of it. This is a graph depicting our shared market forecast for accelerating heat pump adoption in Colorado. It's based on the hockey stick growth model explaining the 4 stages of the ideal product growth path. Currently, it's estimated Colorado has 1 to 2% heat pump market penetration from the last decade. As a group, we believe we're in stage 2 on the blade there in blue, where if we align to develop the market for the next 2 years, we expect to see 1 to 2% per year market growth in 2022 and 2023. Our intent is to hit that ideal inflection point called stage 3 in the curve there in maroon, where all of our work clicks, causing rapid market growth in 2024 and 2025 of 2 to 5% per year. Then on the right, it will take hitting exponential growth of 10 to 15% per year over year in stage 4 to reach our shared goal of a minimum of 50% of total heat pump market penetration. So what does that mean to you, the distributors and the manufacturers? Our organizations presenting today are putting a lot of money into the market, and we're asking you to start early and be ready with us. We're asking that your contractors to show up as our heat pump experts, to perform quality installs and make sure that heat pump equipment is available. We believe someone is to be winning in this business, and we want it to be you. So we're inviting you today to align your business plans with ours to cause this heat pump market transformation by 2030 in Colorado. And with that, I'm passing to the next speaker.
Thanks, Patricia. My name is Kim Burke. I'm a Senior Program Manager focusing on building policy at the Colorado Energy Office. And I'm here to give you the statewide perspective on climate goals and how heat pumps and electrification figure into that. Colorado has made strong commitment to climate leadership and a clean energy transition. In January of 2021, Colorado released its greenhouse gas pollution reduction roadmap. The roadmap lays out an ambitious but achievable pathway to meet the state's science-based climate goals to reduce greenhouse gas pollution 50% by 2030 and 90% by 2050 from 2005 levels. The state is taking action on sector-based strategies to achieve these goals. For example, in the power sector, we will reduce emissions 80% by 2030 by transitioning away from coal and towards renewables. We also aim to reduce emissions 20% from industry and buildings by increasing building efficiency and electrification. More than 30 bills passed in the 2021 Colorado legislative session, advancing clean buildings, renewable energy, energy efficiency, and transportation electrification. You can view a summary of all the bills on the Colorado Energy Office website. But to highlight two that are relevant today, Senate Bill 246, known as the Beneficial Electrification Bill, requires regulated electric utilities to file program plans with the Public Utilities Commission to incentivize switching away from equipment that burns natural gas and propane to efficient electric equipment in new and existing residential and commercial buildings. It calls out heat pumps specifically as equipment that will help Colorado reduce greenhouse gas pollution and that will improve indoor air quality as well as health and safety in buildings. And Senate Bill 264, known as the Clean Heat Bill, requires investor-owned gas utilities to file a clean heat plan with the Public Utilities Commission to meet greenhouse gas reduction targets through gas efficiency, electrification, or other technologies. And now I'll turn it over to Neil.
Hi, everybody. I'm Neil Colway with the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, which is a nonprofit that promotes energy efficiency and clean transportation. But today I'm representing BELCO. BELCO's mission is to advance beneficial electrification in Colorado's buildings and industrial facilities. And we have these specific goals based on the state's greenhouse gas emissions reduction roadmap that Kim just mentioned. By 2030 in residential buildings, our goal is to have 160,000 heat pumps installed and 220,000 heat pump water heaters installed. And along with these specific goals, we expect to see heat pump sales surpass air conditioning sales within the next 5 years or so. So hopefully this is a business opportunity for you all. The 6 utilities or generation companies that provide 91% of Colorado's electricity have committed to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by at least 80% by 2030. This provides the foundation for reducing greenhouse gas emissions through electrification of building fuel uses through heat pumps, mainly, where this is cost effective. 40 out of 52 electric utilities in Colorado currently provide rebates for heat pumps. And here's the range of rebates offered. You can see it starts with $500 per heat pump from the PRPA member municipal utilities. And the most generous rebates are being offered by Holy Cross Energy, $850 per ton for cold climate heat pumps that are replacing gas heating. In addition, some local governments offer rebates on top of the electric utilities rebates, and all of the Colorado rebates are listed at loveelectric.org/rebates. And there are other excellent resources available at Love Electric, which we list in the resource slide that we will send you. Now, I would like to introduce Jan Kelleher of the City and County of Denver.
Thanks, Neil. Hi, everyone. My name is Jan Kelleher. I'm the Building Electrification Lead for the City and County of Denver. Denver is pursuing a multi-pronged approach to reducing the city's space and water heating emissions. First and foremost, we are starting the process to update our new building codes. So we are planning to have at least electrification ready requirements in the 2022 building codes and are evaluating either partial or full electrification community and city staff proposals. All new homes will be required to be all electric starting in 2024, and commercial buildings will have to be built all electric in 2027, with electric space heating required for commercial buildings in 2024. However, this timeline may be further advanced as we are seeing significant interest and advancement in technology for large commercial buildings. Denver continues to grow at 2% annually, meaning by 2050, most of Denver will be new buildings that are built over the next 30 years. We are also working on ambitious policy for existing buildings. Over the last 8 months, a diverse task force has developed recommendations for the City and County of Denver to decarbonize its existing buildings. They just completed their process last week and currently recommend the following. Barring any significant economic or technical infeasibilities, starting in 2025, end-of-life replacements of all furnaces and air conditioners in commercial buildings, as well as rooftop units, would be required to be either heat pumps or heat pumps with electric or gas backup, also known as hybrid or dual fuel systems. So this would be only when systems are being replaced at the end of their useful life, a heat pump would have to be installed. It is not uncommon that Denver homes do not have air conditioning, given the historically mild weather here. But as we have seen this year and last, many homes are looking for cooling solutions that will work during heat waves and not bring in outdoor pollutants from wildfires. Many homes use nighttime fans, window air conditioners, and swamp coolers, and are looking for a better, more resilient solution that will not affect the respiratory health of their children. This is a significant opportunity to convert air conditioner sales to ducted or ductless heat pumps and extend the life of existing furnaces or boilers. Denver is also planning to begin offering its own heat pump incentives by the end of this year that, when paired with Excel incentives, would further reduce the cost of heat pumps when compared to their gas counterparts. With these changes in our new building codes, future permitting practices for existing buildings, and incentive programs, there is significant opportunity in increasing heat pump sales that will require a lot of local equipment availability to meet the demand. I'll pass it off to the next speaker.
Thank you, Jan. Hi, I'm Carolyn Neelam. I'm the energy manager with the city of Boulder. And much like Denver, Boulder has really been looking to our building codes to help drive heat pump adoption in our community. And since 2017, we've really been effective at getting heat pumps adopted. And at this point, there's no real single family home being built in Boulder without heat pumps for space and water heating. We're also seeing heat pumps emerging as the cost-effective choice. If you go back at it, the cost-effective choice in our multifamily and many of our commercial buildings. So we have a lot of experience with them operating in our climate. We know they work. Boulder does invest in spring and fall marketing campaigns to educate our community. We've certainly seen consumer awareness increase significantly, and which is mirrored in adoption rates, starting to be on par with AC in our community. And so we continue to invest in these types of marketing campaigns and want that to benefit our industry as well. We do actually in Boulder have advising and incentive programs available for both our residents and our commercial businesses. And similar to what Jan mentioned, when we pair those with Excel rebates, on our residential side, we've often seen our rebates approach as high as $2,000 per unit. That really has helped drive adoption. So with this, I will pass it to our next speaker. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ann Kirkpatrick with Xcel Energy. From Xcel Energy's perspective, wind and solar power are now the lowest cost generation sources. You can see that we are growing those generation sources quickly and shrinking greenhouse gas generation sources. And we expect that we will make our goal of being 85% carbon free by 2030. Heat pump adoption is essential so customers can use the increasingly inexpensive renewable sourced electricity available to cool and heat their homes and their hot water. In our last DSM filing, several stakeholders asked us to eliminate the lower tier of AC rebates, and the compromise was to lower that rebate by a third. Conversely, stakeholders demanded more heat pump measures and higher rebates. All heat pump rebate levels increased substantially, and cold climate heat pump rebates are now available as well. And for new homes, there are new, much higher electric-only incentives for builders. For new combo homes, those that are powered with both gas and electric service, rebates remained the same. Gas-only rebates decrease from the combo levels you see in that column in 2021 to at least 50% less in 2022. In closing, Xcel Energy is committed to a clean energy future, and heating homes primarily with heat pumps is an important part of that strategy. Next speaker, please.
Thank you, Ann. Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Weiner with Holy Cross Energy. Holy Cross is a rural electric co-op providing electricity from Vail to Aspen and down to Parachute. So we are in climate zone 5, 6, and 7. Holy Cross offers a very attractive rebate for fuel switching from propane or natural gas of $850 per ton. And we also have some local nonprofits that are offering rebates from anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 on top of Holy Cross's rebate. So when you add up the heat pump, cold climate heat pump rebates, the incremental cost between a gas furnace and an AC system compared to a heat pump is now very competitive in our territory. I'd like to bust some myths I'm hearing out there. One is heat pumps don't work in cold climates. Well, I live in a cold climate, and we have over 300 heat pumps in Holy Cross territory, anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 feet. One of our biggest projects was the Gant, a condo complex with 164 units in Aspen that installed 147 cold climate air source heat pumps, mainly for cooling and for shoulder season heating because they have a hydronic boiler system. The homeowners and the guests love the heat pump so much that they're using them more than the gas heat. And the general manager emailed me a couple winters ago and said, these things are working great, and it's -20. Another big project that recently was done was Aspen Skiing Company in the Elgibel Willits area installed 43 heat pumps and a Sandin CO2 heat pump water heater system for their new employee housing. We also have an income qualified program where we're making it much healthier and safer for our income qualified people in mobile homes, where we're converting from propane furnaces to heat pumps. And Basalt Vista, a 27-unit affordable housing in the Basalt area built by Habitat for Humanity, went all electric with heat pump water heaters and cold climate heat pumps. So I assure you, they are working in the cold climate. And the last myth I'd love to bust is that heat pumps are expensive to operate. We are finding, as we have quite a bit of electric baseboard heat, as you can see on the chart on the right, that this family just saved about a third to 50% on their bill from electric baseboard. So electric baseboard's 250 watts per foot, and we're finding savings even with our propane members, who some propane members are spending $1,000 a month on propane. And a recent RMI report just reported out that because of the heat waves that we're seeing throughout the country, that these heat pumps are very cost effective compared to other ways of cooling. Now I would like to introduce Scott Sudrith from Platte River Power Authority.
Thanks, Mary. Hello, my name is Scott Sudrith, and I'm with Platte River Power Authority up in northern Colorado. We're the generating utility for our 4 owner communities, Fort Collins, Loveland, Longmont, and Estes Park. In 2017, 32% of our energy came from non-carbon sources, and then 2020, it's 43%. And we're actually are heading to zero. Our goal is to have 100% carbon-free energy by 2030. We've already enacted a plan to get 90% of the way there. And there's a number of things that we're going to be doing to help our communities get there. And that's going to be including pursuing beneficial electrification through heat pump technologies. So we already have communities that are heading down paths where they're doing sustainability committees and a number of things to figure out how to get their carbon down. And beneficial electrification is one of those tools that we'll be using. So using our existing program, Efficiency Works, we already have heat pumps being offered to help achieve that carbon reduction, along with the insulation and air sealing rebates necessary to make sure the heat pump can keep that home comfortable. I'm going to hand it off to the next speaker, please.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Peter Rustin, and I oversee our quality install program for heat pumps at Tri-State Generation. We not only supply the power for 17 utilities in Colorado, we also design and implement rebate programs with our utilities. Our utilities run from the Eastern Plains, the Front Range Corridor, the Western Slope, and account for approximately 20% of the electricity consumed in Colorado. As you have seen with the other utilities, we are invested in this technology, and we provide incentives for consumers up to $4.50 a ton. But one thing Neil didn't mention is that some of our utilities match. So in Winter Park, the quote, ice box of Colorado, that is over $1,000 a ton. A lot of money is flowing into heat pump equipment. We also provide a contractor spiff of $250 per install, and working with our communities on consumer education through workshops and social media. We have supported this tech since 2014, and we've been doing field studies, adding incentives, and have steadily increased our support as the technology has improved. This is why Tri-State is here today. What is our next level of support, i.e. money? Distributors play a key role in this transition and want your feedback. Does a midstream rebate for distributors move the needle? Does reducing restocking fees? Should we offer product and marketing training for the sales counter? We're open to many ideas and finding solutions and look forward to the discussion. I'll turn it back to Ann now.
Thanks, Pete. So we've heard a lot of information in this section, and so we've provided a little summary of sort of the big ideas. As you walk away, these are the things that are really sticking with us when we start putting it all together. We know that legislation, regulation, and codes are driving change. 6 utilities that provide 91% of Colorado's electricity are committed to beneficial electrification of buildings. 40 out of 52 utilities that provide electricity in Colorado are offering rebates to help close that price gap between an AC and furnace and the cost of a cold climate heat pump, sometimes stacking those rebates. It is well established that cold climate heat pumps work in our Colorado climates, including at high altitude. We know that customer demand is growing. We know you're seeing that as well. And the organizations you've heard from today are making significant investments in all kinds of ways in heat pumps. And the heat pump market potential for you is huge. So now it's time for us to hear from you. We're going to use the chat to help frame up the conversation in 3 parts: questions, successes and plans to date that you have, and what we need to solve for to help you make this market transition happen.